Hi, welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now, leave any comments in the comment section, and let's talk wrestling. Like and share the video, hit the bell on top as well. Keep up to date with all videos as and when they are posted. Now, it's this week in WWE, a selection of news stories that have come out, news, rumours, everything between. Going to be discussing in one full-length video for you right here. Going to be discussing the likes of Finn Balor, with his, of course, concussion, Jinder Mahal. Going to be discussing as well the upcoming Payback pay-per-view, as well Rusev Lana, Nikki Bella. There's lots to cover here on this one video, so make sure to keep it posted here. And of course, to finish off, I will be finally talking about Mauro, Ranallo, and JBL. So if you want to stick around to the end of the video, I will finally be talking about that topic because I've been avoiding it until now because I wanted to give my opinion on it, but I wanted to make sure there was something concrete about this before I gave an opinion on it, but it doesn't look like that's fully going to happen. It looks like it's going one direction now, so I will give my comment on that. So stick around. I will be talking about that at the end of this post. But going to start, all news is brought to you by ringsidenews.com. Now, of course, since making the main roster debut, Finn Balor has only wrestled 10 matches and suffered 2 injuries in those 10. Now, Dave Meltzer has discussed Balor's injuries on the latest installment of the Wrestling Observer Radio, and the dangers have been seen injury-prone by Vince McMahon. And Meltzer already hinted that Vince may actually begin to see him as the guy who's injury-prone if he continues to get hurt. Now, the quote goes on to say, Finn Balor showed up and he had shoulder surgery. And then his second TV match back, he gets hurt again. So it's like, I hope he doesn't get hurt one more time because you don't want to have that thing in Vince's head that you're injury prone. It doesn't kill you because Vince has that thing in his head about other people and they still get pushed to a degree. But it does temper him going all the way with somebody. Now, first off, I've got a major issue with this because of the fact that, okay, Finn Balor has picked up a concussion. He's been taken off WWE live events this week. But didn't he get cracked in the head by Jinder Mahal to make this concussion? It's not his fault that he got a concussion. Jinder Mahal smacked him full in the head. I mean, that could have happened to anybody that was in the ring with Jinder that night. Finn should not be suffering for this. It would be ridiculous if he was actually to be, seen as injury prone or not pushed towards the top of the card if this has happened. I don't think it's going to suffer Finn so badly, but I agree if he gets injured again, it probably could be seen as that in WWE. But for me personally, okay, the SummerSlam one, it looked like it was badly timed, but it's happened with another one of Seth Rollins' opponents in the past. I'm just really believe that Finn Balor is a big deal in WWE. He could be the next big star, the actual one that carries the company on his shoulders, sells the merchandise, and becomes the guy that we talk about for years to come. But I mean, for me, Jinder Mahal is a rumor not to be punished for what happened with Finn Balor in that match on Raw. So, and Jinder Mahal is expected to actually receive a push on SmackDown to the mid-card level. So I'm hoping that no one actually suffers that was involved in this match with any form of repercussion whatsoever, because accidents do happen in the wrestling environment. It's just part of the business. But for me, no one should actually suffer from this in a booking standpoint or in a professional standpoint. For me, we should just move on and actually not even talk about this sort of thing, because by talking about it, Meltzer, you are planting a seed to anyone listening in their head that Finn could be injury prone. And I can tell you for now, he is not injury prone. What happened at SummerSlam? Yeah, okay, that happened. And what happened on Raw can happen to anyone. And personally, if anyone had taken that shot from Jinder, they would have been on the floor. So it's good really that Finn Balor is back up. And he's expected to be back next week at live events. But of course, that could change depending on his status and when he's checked up on this upcoming Monday on Raw. Now, moving on, the plans for the Women's Championship. Now, according to F4W Online, a match that's been discussed for the Women's Championship is Bayley defending the Raw Women's Championship in a multi-women's match against Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, and possibly Mickie James as well. Now, lazy booking at its finest here, because of course WrestleMania, we've just had a fatal 4-way. SmackDown were renowned for it. Now, the right thing in my personal opinion, Nia Jax is being pushed towards the top of the card here. Perhaps having that one-off match to get Nia Jax out of that title picture would perhaps make the most sense in my personal opinion. The next thing to do would be then to have Alexa Bliss challenge for the belt for a couple of months to then take us all the way to SummerSlam, where it can be Bayley versus Sasha Banks. To do this in one fell swoop would crush the entire Raw Women's division, with Bayley keeping hold of the title belt unless she was to lose it to a new challenger. But for me, really, I feel that if we do have this match, like we say, the whole division loses credibility straight away. Bayley is seen as the strongest, and from there on, where do we go? I'm not quite sure. So for me personally, I would avoid this match at all costs. I understand that if they do this, it's possibly to protect Nia Jax, as they want her to be that dominant female. Right now, they're really trying to elevate her past perhaps what she's meant to be at right now. We see the match with Charlotte last week on Raw. It was sloppy, a couple of really bad spots there with Charlotte. Quite lucky that Charlotte didn't get injured. So for me personally, I though would still bite the bullet, make it a short match, Nia Jax, Bayley, at the upcoming Payback event. I don't think that always this is going to happen when Nia Jax makes these big mistakes, but have Bayley go over, and then we can move forward and we can go to programs going forward that actually perhaps maybe would be more worthwhile seeing on the Raw side. Definitely for me, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss is what I want to see. I'm looking forward to that program taking place probably in the next couple of months. Now, Dave Meltzer is at it again with that Wrestling Observer newsletter, indicating that, of course, Rusev and Lana in the near future will break up on WWE TV. Now, of course, you can quite plainly see that on SmackDown Live that they were kind of built as separate, not together. But this is the inside part of it, that the Lana character is going to be what the plans were for the original Emmalina character, which was dropped by WWE because Emma couldn't pull the act. Rusev is currently off TV, healing from surgery. He's not actually expected back between 2 to 4 months, so he's probably not going to be back until around SummerSlam. So this way, it utilises Lana in a good way, and if that gimmick doesn't take off with Lana in the way, then she can always go back with Ruru when it comes to it, when come the time he comes back. So that kind of makes sense. Now, Nikki Bella has actually come out and said that she was actually a bit upset when she first come back, because she got told she had 1% chance of a return when she had her neck injury. She'd come back to find a lot of wrestlers didn't want to work with her. Now, for me personally on that, you can understand that. I mean, SmackDown was a greener brand as well at the time, with the people she'd be facing like Carmella, and then she was in the capable hands of Natalya. But, you look at it and say that she's done so well to come back, and I can understand people's feeling. You don't want to put someone injured back on the shelf again, but it's good to see she's actually come through that, and she's been very good on the calendar year up to now. When she comes back, there's a tease that she will be taking on Charlotte. Now, according to ringsidenews.com, Nikki Bella actually posted a video where she's put Charlotte on notice. Charlotte's actually sent a tweet back out with the face, with the sort of fingers on the face looking up as if like, So I think that feud could happen. I think that's the feud that Nikki Bella needs though when she comes back now, because she was kept away from Becky Lynch as well in this calendar year, which was a match I was sure was going to happen. I think those are the two big feuds that we should see Nikki Bella have when she comes back to SmackDown Live. I think she needs to keep the face, even for Becky Lynch, be the face versus face, but be the face versus heel against Charlotte. It makes sense with the Charlotte feud as well, because after Survivor Series, they were both the captains for Raw and SmackDown at that given time, even though Nikki Bella wasn't in the match. So for me, that sort of feud kind of seems natural going forward, and probably will happen when Charlotte is already the SmackDown Live Women's Championship after beating Naomi. Now, one superstar on the women's roster that could have moved from SmackDown Live to Raw, apart from the shake-up as a last-minute decision not to happen, was Carmella. Now, Carmella was expected to be there, but in the end was nixed for Mickie James to go there instead. Now, I was up on board with Mickie James being there, but I think Carmella should have gone to Raw as well, been along with Enzo and Big Cass as they're staying on Raw. I mean, to separate two people that are a couple together, Big Cass and Carmella in real life, I think is a bit kind of, anyway, I'm not a big fan of that. It should be on the same brand. Same with Dean Ambrose and Renee Young. But personally, for me, I would have just had Carmella the same anyway. I feel she's wasted with a big Hulk James Ellsworth. I don't think that works. I can't wait for her to ditch James Ellsworth personally. I think that she's much stronger on her own, especially if she's going to continue on SmackDown Live. Now, of course, WWE have been talking about purchasing Ring of Honor. That's been a big discussion for a long time. It was considered dead. Now, according to Dave Meltzer, he was informed by someone close to the situation on details of negotiations that they are no longer discussing the sale. Meltzer did note that there were still talks between ROH and WWE about licensing old ROH content on the WWE Network. This is more likely for upcoming DVDs as well, for the likes of people that were in ROH, like maybe AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Sami Zayn. I mean, there is rumours that there was actually meant to be a Kevin Owens DVD in the works. But of course, we've heard this from Joe Koff before. He's dismissed the reports in the Baltimore Sun. We're not going to go into that again, but it does mention content of the Kevin Owens DVD. For me, I don't think it's going to happen. Specialist Koff, who's inside on ROH, said it's not going to happen. I would personally like it to happen because I'm a big fan of ROH. I think it's a very nice alternative to WWE. It is bloody hard to find to watch if you're not in the United States, and I don't know about in the USA. It's probably hard to watch there as well. People from the States, let me know in the comments below if you find it easy to find to watch ROH. But being outside of the US, I find it very hard to keep up to date. And for me personally, I would like to have somewhere like the WWE Network where I can keep up to date with ROH. The only thing is, though, it could be a watered down version of it. But then at the same time, I don't know what would personally happen with ROH. I don't believe WWE would continue it if they were to purchase it anyway. So, but you get to see the likes of maybe the Young Bucks, Jay Lethal come to NXT, and I personally would be very much on board with that. But of course, it is more healthy really to see an alternative other than WWE in the United States market. Because, I mean, to be fair, if WWE actually ruled the world, wrestling would be a very one-dimensional place, and it is good to see different variations of what people think is good for professional wrestling. Now, there has been backstage talk, moving on to the New Day, that they will be kept off television until Kofi Kingston returns from his recent ankle injury, according to PW Insider. Now, of course, Kofi is expected to be out for several weeks. I think it would be quite good, personally. I mean, it's part of the Superstar Shake-Up, of course, the New Day on SmackDown Live. It will give just that small opportunity to give American Alpha another shot at the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships without putting the New Day straight in the title picture. As well as this, you look at it and say that New Day, with Xavier Woods, with the whole Page scenario, it gives it just a few more weeks as well, just things to cool down a little bit more. For me, I don't think it's the baddest booking idea, personally. I would actually say that it would be kind of makes sense to have all the team come back as themselves and then go in full strong as the New Day as they are. I'm not the biggest fan of the New Day, I've said that in the past, but they do sell merch and they are a big deal to a lot of the fans. So for me, really, go keep them together as a unit. I think a little break from TV will be good as well for the people that are a bit sick and tired of them, and they might feel just a little bit fresher when they come back onto our screens. Booker T is going to be replacing David Otunga. Otunga is going to be doing a movie for the next 6 weeks. Booker T is going to be on the commentary table on Monday Night Raw. Personally, for me, although I'm not the biggest fan of Booker T either, I'm more of a fan of Booker T than I am of David Otunga. Goodness me, 3 hours of Otunga. I've said it before, I'll say it again. How are we going to manage with that? I'm not quite sure. But Booker T, at least we're going for the next 6 weeks alongside Corey Graves and Michael Cole. I think it should be pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing it unfold. Now, last but not least, there have been rumours going around that WWE are going to be paying Mauro Ranallo to keep silent on the bullying from JBL. Now, I've said to myself that I was not going to talk a lot about this because, personally, there is no actual evidence and proof yet that this has actually legitimately happened, but it makes you feel like something must have happened because, of course, that rumour going around, Ranallo, his contract expires on August the 12th. It doesn't look like he's going to be coming back. A lot of people, even Jim Ross on his latest podcast, has said that, that he's not going to be coming back, and it's a shame that it doesn't work out for anyone or for everyone when it comes to WWE. You could have actually separated them on this particular draft, but it looks like really that they want to keep them apart all time. Of course, there are times where everyone is under the same roof at the same time, so there is opportunities for Ranallo and JBL to actually see each other between the time where the contract would expire. So it looks like Ranallo will be no more in WWE, which I'm really sad about because I'm a big fan of Ranallo. He's always been really good. When you message him on Twitter, he always replies to every message you tend to send. You've even had conversations with the guy. I personally think he's a real stand-up chap. He's great at what he does. Commentating makes you feel the action in the ring as well. Makes you feel like you're part of it. And I want to say that I'm going to miss Mauro Ranallo calling SmackDown Live and matches in WWE. I personally hope that he's going to be snapped up and taken to Impact Wrestling or somewhere else. But I think Impact Wrestling is probably the most likely candidate that would take him on, and actually think he would actually add something to Impact Wrestling. I think it would be pretty good. As for JBL, personally, is he a bully? Well, I don't really want to say one way or another, but if you look at other people talking about this, I mean, Rich Brennan said he's difficult to work with, according to RingsideNews.com. Justin Roberts, of course, has said exactly the same. And, I mean, we've seen people stick up for JBL. We've seen people go against JBL on this. It'll be interesting to see if it ever does come out one way or another, but it feels like it's going to be kept hush-hush. A lot of fans calling for JBL to be fired. I don't see it happening. I think JBL is going to be just kept to the point where it's quiet, and then maybe eventually when it gets dropped, we can all move on. You see with these big stories, they all come out, there's a lot of heat at the time, but then eventually it does get dropped. I think that that's going to be the same case with this scenario. Once people realise WWE are not going to budge, JBL is here to stay. He's one of the WWE guys. He's been here for like over 20 odd years. He's not going to be leaving anytime soon. I don't see that happening. So for me, really, it looks like it's one that's moved on. But if it has happened, then it's disgusting and not a fan of it, and don't condone it in any form, shape, or manner. It doesn't matter if it's in work, WWE, at schools, anything. I don't condone bullying. It's not on, and of course then JBL should really suffer the consequences really of that and should be taken away from it, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So there you go, that's everything in this one video. This is WWE, the week of WWE. I hope you've enjoyed this particular video. If you enjoy the content of how I've done this, where I've given you pretty much all the big news stories over the week in one video, hit that like button right now, and if you stuck to the end, thank you very much as well. And yeah, subscribe to the channel right now. Look out as well, there will be Raw and SmackDown previews, fantasy booking as well. Kevin Owens on SmackDown Live. I had to do a little bit of fun with the Superstar Shake-Up, how I would book him all the way up to WrestleMania 34. Check that video out right now. If you like the context of this, again, like I say, do hit the like button. It's important that I know you like this, so I will continue to do it. Let me know your feelings of the news stories in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my theories on them as well. And yeah, that's everything right now for SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for watching as always, and please, I will see you next time, but make sure to subscribe.